Dendro's been something we've all been waiting for to get more of in Genshin. Not just the Dendro slimes, not just the Abyss Mage vines that harass us all the time. Well, the good news is there are a little bit of a sneak peek for some new Dendro related reactions here. Today we're sponsored by Amazon in the Amazon App Store, featuring the Echoes of Mana coming out soon. If you're an RPG fan like I am, there's a great deal in the Amazon App Store currently for Echoes of Mana. Now, Echoes of Mana is going to feature a lot of old stay Mana characters like Randy and Prim. Hawkeye is going to be in here as well. And the featured deal here, and not only is the Amazon App Store a fantastic place for any game featured there, however, there's going to be a bonus. So if you go ahead and use 10,000 Amazon coins, you're going to get 1,000 Amazon coins back for this Echoes of Mana celebration collaboration with the App Store and Echoes. I've always been a big fan of all the Mana games, and I'm happy to see Randy and Prim and etc. back for this one as well. Sponsorship like this help the channel out significantly and make it possible for me to produce content for you guys. So go down to the description below, find that link, check it out, and let me know what you think. Well, here's the first one. It's going to be Dendro and Electro. Now, this is a reaction between those two elements. It's got a twofold thing. When this reaction happens, you're going to generate an extra Electro particle, which is the Electro part. Electro likes to give you elemental energy back. Also, on top of that, though, it's going to make you do increased Dendro and Electro damage against the enemy for 7 seconds. So this is gonna be very good for characters like Raiden Shogun, Fischl, all these different Electro characters. They haven't really had a lot of ways to boost their own damage up with reactions in Genshin Impact. Back in the early days of beta, well, they had access to Superconduct, which actually reduced the resistance for everything, not just physical. Back in the early days of the beta, as we know it now, it's just physical damage reduction. So we can see that this is going to be a good way for us to buff up Dendro characters, because this has Dendro damage increased as well as your Electro characters. Now, what is the damage bonus? We don't know about that, but there is one thing that I would like to say about this. Damage bonus up is very nice, but what I would rather have it be is actually some sort of like resistance down, right? Instead of bonus damage for Electro and Dendro, I would really love it to be reduced resistance, just like Superconduct does for physical, reduced resistance for Electro and Dendro on those enemies. You could do a lot of cool things with like a free 40% from this reaction, be like a free Viridescent Venom set for your Electro and your Dendro characters. And obviously how well this is going to perform in game is going to be dependent on what the Dendro characters actually do. We've got hinted at Yao Yao for April Fools. All right, maybe it'll come out eventually one day, but that's only one of the new Dendro reactions. Now, the second one is a Dendro and Hydro related reaction. So this reaction is going to do a couple of things here. So it's going to drop seeds on the ground, and those seeds will grow into mushrooms. I know, all right, yeah, maybe not the special kind of special mushrooms, but they'll grow into mushrooms, and then you need to hit the mushrooms with Hydro damage, and they will explode and do Dendro damage. So this is sort of like a delayed version from what I can see here, like a delayed version of Overloaded. So it'll probably scale with Elemental Mastery. We'll have to see how good this is. It does only do Dendro damage, so maybe you'll utilize Overgrown, which is what this one is called. The previous one is called Intensified. Maybe you can do Intensified into Overgrown, because Intensified boosts your Dendro damage too, and you can use someone like Xingqiu, Mona, Yelan in the future to activate it, blow up those mushrooms, have them do the Dendro damage, which is multiplied and boosted up by the Intensified reaction for bonus damage, and maybe it scales with Elemental Mastery. And we could have a very nice Hydro, Dendro, Electro team comp in the future when this element is released. And so with that, we already have 3 of the reactions for Dendro, those being Pyro, Electro, and Hydro related reactions, but we don't have Dendro and Cryo. So what could this one do? Well, if you go ahead and look at the ones we just went over, all these reactions are very Dendro focused. Dendro and Hydro reaction is going to plant those mushrooms, then the mushrooms are going to blow up and do Dendro damage. The Dendro in Electro reaction, not only does it increase your Electro damage, it is also increasing your Dendro damage. They might be reworking Eventually, the Dendro and Pyro related reaction that just causes the enemy to burn. That one we don't know about. And then we also have Dendro and Cryo. Also Dendro and Geo and Dendro and Animo. But let's focus on Dendro and Cryo right now. Now, what could this one do? I'm really not sure. Maybe this one will be what I wanted originally, a resistance down. This one could be possibly Dendro resistance down for the enemies that are affected by it, as well as Cryo resistance down. That would be awesome for Ganyu players, Ayaka players out there as well. I'm sure you would love to have access to something like that. And what about as well Geo and Animo related reactions? Well, we already know what those ones do, because those ones don't really do reactions. They just kind of do their own stuff. They're not different based on what element you're using them with. Crystallize just gives you a shield, and in this case it would give you a crystallized Dendro damage reduction shield. And Dendro and Animo obviously would be Swirl, which is going to spread the Dendro element everywhere else. I'm pretty sure this is what we're going to be seeing for Animo as well as Geo related reactions for Dendro. That would leave everything known up to this point except for the Cryo related reaction. There are some very good characters to utilize this intensified as well as overgrown new Dendro related reactions, but they're not going to be all that good if our Dendro characters are bad. So hopefully we'll have some good Dendro characters to utilize these. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.